Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News for Friday, July 3. I'm Antonia Atkinson. A special welcome to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com. Here's what we have in the bulletin.
Students with disability receives apology at graduation. KSAMC launches multi-million-dollar drain cleaning program. And later in sports, defending champions Argentina in action as FIFA World Cup round of 32 concludes.
Thank you for joining us. Now the details. Two families, including 7 adults and 2 children in downtown Montego Bay, are homeless this afternoon after fire destroyed their home. It's unclear how the blaze started. However, TVJ News understands that sometime after 7 this morning, smoke was seen coming from houses. The Montego Bay fire station was summoned.
3 units responded, and upon arrival, 2 structures were observed completely engulfed. The team immediately got in operation, and within minutes, the team were able to contain the spread of the fire. The surrounding structures were already impacted upon the arrival of the brigade, and we were able to minimize fire damages by protecting these neighboring structures. A total of 25 firefighters, to include our divisional commander, watch commanders, were on location, and the operation was a very extensive one, but one that was very successful at the end of it all.
Now, an investigation has since been launched. A promise by the government of improvements to the country's water supply within the next 5 years. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says this will be made possible as the National Water Commission (NWC) continues to undertake massive capital works investment in key areas. The details in this report. For years, some communities have been grappling with no pipe-borne water in sections of Kingston. That problem is compounded by, after decades of challenges, the sewage issues in downtown Kingston will be addressed. Speaking at the National Water Commission Long Service Awards last night, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness acknowledged the urgency.
The government will be making massive investments in improving, renewing, rebuilding the downtown Kingston sewage network, which will improve our wastewater management and increase the value of property along the stretch where the improvements are made.
Dr. Holness says the investment in sewage is also an investment in the quality of water.
It is an investment in protecting the source, the underground source of our water. So, whilst you were discussing at the table with the chairman and your minister, I asked them, so how are we maintaining our water quality standards? And I was very pleased to hear the response, and the response is that every day, right across Jamaica, the NWC does its water quality checks. Yes. And the water quality checks are fed up the ranks through to management, who reviews them, and the board takes a direct interest in seeing that our water quality is maintained.
The Prime Minister also pointed to another major investment in the pipeline. Next 5 years, substantial improvement in delivery and reliability of water supply in northwestern end, central Kingston and St. Andrew, massive expansion in capital works.
We are also going to do improvement works to the Hermitage facility, which will include building a new dam for the Hermitage facility.
Antonia Atkinson, TVJ News. To the story now of the ongoing challenges faced by students with disabilities. We attended the graduation of one such student who got an official apology from her high school for the years spent without proper access. The details in this report.
15-year-old Abigail Constable sits among her graduating class at the Brownstown High School in St. Anne in a wheelchair. She first came to the institution 5 years ago, but little has changed in terms of access to upper floors of the school. Principal Alfred Thomas is again making an appeal to the government to make good on its promise to erect lifts at the institution to accommodate students in wheelchairs. In his address to the annual graduation, he highlighted that when Abigail first came to the institution in grade 7, a representative from the Ministry of Education promised to construct a lift so Abigail could access classrooms, labs, and other resource rooms which were not on the ground floor. Now, Abigail's leaving and the promise was not fulfilled.
While we are grateful that the ramps were constructed and the bathroom facilities were retrofitted and improved to facilitate wheelchair access, Abigail and any other student who has a disability deserve a learning environment where every facility is equally accessible. I deeply regret that after years of advocacy, we were unable to fulfill this commitment. I therefore make an urgent appeal, and I heard Ms. Gree mention it earlier, but I'm still going to appeal to the Ministry and the National Education Trust to expedite the completion of the wheelchair lift.
Mr. Thomas apologized to Abigail for not honoring her wish and appealed to the Ministry of Education to fast-track plans to have the lift completed.
Abigail and parents, I want to apologize. I want to apologize because I remember during the orientation session, after receiving an email from our permanent secretary stating that yes, money was committed to do retrofitting of bathroom and wheelchair access and ramps and a lot of things. So I must apologize for not fulfilling that commitment.
Carrie Simpson, TVJ News.
The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation is stepping up preparations for the Atlantic hurricane season with a multi-million-dollar drain cleaning program. Ali Bryant has the details.
As the threat of heavy rainfall looms this hurricane season, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation (KSAMC) has launched the first phase of a major drain cleaning program aimed at reducing the risk of flooding. On Thursday, Mayor Andrew Swaby toured several critical drains and gullies along the coastline as part of an assessment ahead of the cleanup effort. The first phase of the project will see 27 critical drains and gullies cleaned across 9 municipal divisions at a cost of $23 million. But while the city continues to invest millions in flood mitigation, Mayor Swaby says poor waste disposal practices remain one of the biggest challenges.
I want to implore all the residents of Kingston St. Andrew that is our responsibility also to make sure that we practice proper waste management. Can't be a situation where you throw bottles into a gully. Should not be a situation where our debris from the gravel that we have to do build our homes, that is left, that it is actually washed in these drains. Because after a time, even if it doesn't affect us directly, there are some other communities that it will certainly affect.
He says garbage dumped into drains and gullies is forcing the municipality to divert funds that could otherwise be used for the parish's development.
If we as citizens adhere to proper waste management in terms of how we dispose not only our garbage, but just in general, our gravels and those things, it will certainly allow the KSAMC and other local authorities to spend less on cleaning drains and more on fixing our road.
Meanwhile, the municipality is also raising concerns about illegal dumping by some contractors. Acting Chief Engineering Officer Yakini Bini says construction waste is being illegally discarded in drains and gullies, creating additional blockages and increasing the flood risk.
We've seen those areas in the past, so there's a lot to be done. It touches all sectors of the Jamaican public, so we have to do our part.
Aliyah Bryant, TVJ News.
To news in St. Mary, police are searching for two men following a shooting in Bacchuswood, Islington early Wednesday morning. Investigators say a 59-year-old man was awakened around 2 a.m. when his home was kicked open. A masked gunman allegedly shot him in the hand. The victim encountered a second armed suspect as he tried to escape, but raised an alarm, causing both men to flee. He was taken to hospital where he remains in stable condition. Police are appealing to anyone with information to contact the Islington Police, the St. Mary CIB or Crime Stop at 311. It's now time for a break. More stories when we come back. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
Foreign direct investment inflows to Jamaica have fallen sharply over the past several years, despite a significant improvement in the country's debt position. Data released by the Bank of Jamaica show that FDI inflows declined from almost $900 million in 2017 to $283.2 million last year. The figures indicate a steady downward trend over the period. Inflows stood at $775 million in 2018 before falling to $265.1 million in 2020. There was a slight recovery in the following years before rising to $429 million in 2023. However, the Bank of Jamaica data show renewed weakness thereafter, with inflows slipping to $283.2 million last year. The decline comes even as Jamaica debt to GDP ratio improved significantly, moving from 121% in earlier years to around 68% more recently. Further afield, Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Walsh is sounding tougher on inflation than some predicted. That's based on his comments during his first external public event in his new role Wednesday. Walsh vows the Fed will stabilize U.S. prices. He backs the panel's goal of 2% inflation, more than double that in May. The Iran war is causing energy price shocks. Still, Walsh is seen as fairly aligned with the president, who has demanded rate cuts. Those can drive up inflation, but the chair says that risk has declined in recent weeks. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Carrie Simpson.
Thank you, Carrie Ann. And here's Alia Bryant with the top stories from around the world.
In the region, senior citizens in Guyana will begin receiving a new transportation. Dr. Vindhya Prasad says the $20,000 Guyana dollar payment is designed to help pensioners cover transportation costs. To access the allowance, recipients must present their 2026 pension book at a ministry office for verification before collecting the payment through a post office, approved payment agency, or by direct deposit for those already receiving their pension through the bank. And on the international scene, a new U.S. Marine Expeditionary Unit has arrived in the Middle East. On social media, U.S. Central Command, or CENTCOM, announced the arrival of ships carrying the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit as part of a scheduled deployment. The unit, which typically includes more than 2,000 Marines, joins another U.S. military force that has been operating in the region since late March. The deployment comes as peace talks between the United States and Iran remain on hold ahead of the funeral of Iran's former supreme leader. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Alia Bryant.
Thank you, Alia. We now head to our final break. When we'll come back, we have your Midday Sports and find out what's happening in the round of 32.